Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 294 of your favourite Formula 1 show. Yes, Knowing Wheel is finally back. We're ready to talk about the Miami Grand Prix because finally it is race week. And as always, I am joined by Jamie183, who this weekend is being a bit of a mad lad, aren't you, Jamie? Actually, I think we're both being mad lads, but very, very different ways, yeah.
What are you up to this weekend, Matt?
I've got the iRacing Nürburgring 24, which I'm looking forward to.
Wow. Sat in your room playing video games. Like, isn't that your job?
It is my job.
Nice.
So I'm working. What are you doing?
I'm going to Czechia and the city of Prague and running a marathon.
On a mad stag do.
On a big stag do, and I get absolutely leathered. No, that's not going to happen. So, Sunday morning, I will be running for something between 3 and 4 hours, hopefully. And if it's much longer than that, something's gone very wrong. Yeah, and then I'll be watching Miami in the evening while I can't move.
You completely failed to mention that you're running the Prague Marathon.
I am doing that, yes. Not just running.
No one knows how quickly you can run. Maybe you're doing like a 5k, it just takes you a while.
It just takes me a long time, yeah.
You're crawling along the side of the river.
So yeah, I'll be following the footsteps of Sebastian Vettel. Though not literally, because he ran it in London, which I'm not doing. So if I can get anywhere near Sebastian Vettel's time, I'll be very happy. But he is a professional athlete, so...
He was a professional athlete.
He was, that's true. How long has he been out of sport now? 4 years?
4 years, isn't it? 2020, end of 22, wasn't it?
Yeah. So he ran it in sub 3 hours. I won't get that. But you can hear on our race review, which I don't know when that's going to come out, the first race we'll be reviewing is my race, selfishly.
Okay, I like that. I really like that. Yeah, so Jamie's obviously running the Prague Marathon, as he kind of alluded to there, but kept it mysterious. So if you live in Prague, or you're going to the Prague Marathon, make sure you cheer him on.
Bring
Get
a
some
sign
Knowing Wheel banners out, or something like that.
Knowing Wheel, yeah.
Or just have Matt better than Jamie, or something like that. I don't know. Be better.
If we actually ran, you'd get smoked. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, absolutely I would. Absolutely, I would.
But then if we did iRacing, I'd get smoked, so you know what?
Exactly, there you go. Yeah, if we ran the Nerd 24, you'd get obliterated. So really, actually, Jamie, it's all fair.
I'd get disqualified.
Should we actually talk about some Formula 1? We've got Formula 1 to talk about, Jamie.
We have.
Should we actually talk about it?
Yes. This isn't a summer show or a spring break show anymore. This is actually an F1 show. Let's go.
Miami, where do we want to start? We've got a couple of new liveries. I guess that's probably a good place to start.
We have.
Thoughts, feelings. VCarb have got a new livery. Cadillac have got a new livery ready for this weekend. Because for some reason, Miami seems to actually be a race where teams bring special liveries. And I don't really know why.
Yeah, I guess Cadillac kind of makes sense. It's their first ever special livery, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
When I saw this,
first ever home Grand Prix.
We've kind of seen so little of Cadillac in the first 3 races that when I saw this online, I couldn't actually tell you what the differences were between this and their normal livery, because it's just still monochrome. It's still quite Cadillac, and yeah, there's not a lot of difference. It's just whiter, and we've got a few stars and stripes on the back, so it looks nice.
There's thousands of stars on it, and they're all over the place. They're on the front wing, they're on the nose, they're on the side pod, they're on the engine cover.
I may have only seen the side profile.
The wing's got tons of stars. It's everywhere, Jamie.
Oh, they really are. I didn't see the front profile. Fair play.
You just never looked.
No, I just looked at the side profile, and there's not that many stars on the side. So it looks all right. I don't think we'll see much of them on the cameras apart from in Q1. So there we go. But their first ever special livery. That's quite a historical moment. I don't know if did the 2010 new teams ever do special liveries. I'm not sure they did.
I feel like HRT didn't. I feel like Caterham and whatever they became did a few times.
I don't recall, to be honest. But it's a good sign for Cadillac that they feel comfortable enough in the sport that they've got time to put into special liveries. That's a vote of confidence, I think.
That's great advertising, isn't it?
Exactly, and it's a home race for them. They still need to improve a bit to take the spotlight off Haas this season.
They're going to need to improve by quite a lot still to take the spotlight off Haas this season as the American team. But no, I quite like this livery. I feel like we have differing opinions though on the other one for this weekend.
Yeah,
the VCarb livery.
Last night, didn't it? As we recorded
overnight. Yes, a good job we waited till today to do this. The V-Carb livery, maybe this is controversial, I don't think is the one.
It might. I think it would look interesting on track. I quite like it. It's bright yellow.
Much better on track or much worse.
It looks a bit like a lemon with a Red Bull logo on. So,
but
it could look cool
because they're advertising their lemon Red Bull. I want to say
it's summer edition.
Red Bull. Yeah. I don't know what that means. I don't drink enough Red Bull.
I think it is a lemonade style or a lime style Red Bull. I don't drink Red Bull either, so it's got
summer edition Red Bull. It's citrus zest, so yeah, that's going to be
lemon and lime, isn't it? I do quite like it. I think it would look quite cool on track, and obviously the V-Carb tend to go a bit crazier with their with their liveries when they go special. So yeah, I think it would look all right. Again, don't think they'll be pulling up many trees, but then the V-Carb's been about on pace with the Red Bull this season, so you never know.
Yeah, no, they've been doing quite well this season, so I think they'd be hoping to obviously score some more points this weekend. That is one thing I will give V-Carb credit for. They do bring some cool special liveries, don't they? Because I don't think they're so worried about kind of brand identity at the moment. I
guess their identity is that they push the boat out. That is kind of
with the liveries,
similar to Red Bull in a way.
OG Red Bull. It kind of feels like, doesn't it, a bit more less corporate Red Bull, which
their
was always a good
livery
thing back in the mid-2000s.
2 years ago, I want to say, with Ricciardo when he qualified third in the sprint. That livery was awesome, Miami.
Was that the pink one?
Yeah, it was kind of
was
baby blue and pink, and looked great. And obviously
the
Ricciardo.
pink V-Carbs. It is weird. Pink race cars generally, even the BWT ones, always look good as well. Pink seems to work on race cars.
Yeah,
I rate it.
It does. The 2020 pink Mercedes was obviously pretty iconic when Hulkenberg put it third on the grid as its famous moment.
Or when Stroll put it on pole.
Less famous, I think.
That was 21 though. Oh no, that was 20, wasn't it?
That was 2020, yeah.
Yeah.
In the wet when Hamilton got his seventh title.
title.
I almost said eighth then. That was premature.
No, that was the year after he got his eighth. Obviously we've got a couple of liveries, like we said. Mercedes as well are running a different race suit this weekend, which just makes them look like a Milka bar, which is quite funny as well. So I don't know if you've seen that,
no.
Purple race suit, which is fairly cool actually. I quite like it again. Mercedes seem to do that a lot more with race suits rather than actual race cars, which is a little bit. I still think they're haunted from Germany 2019.
Well, genuinely, yeah.
Yeah, they just don't tend to run that many special. They will still do a couple here and there. But
that was back in the era when I actually watched Drive to Survive, and Toto Wolff was absolutely fuming with everyone after that race because it was we've been so focused on dressing up and celebrating that we forgot to run a team
we were in
properly.
Lederhosen, it's all gone awfully.
So he basically, I think, made a vow that we're never doing anything fun ever again. Basically,
pretty much. That was the moment that Toto Wolff became just a little bit more like Helmut Marko at the helm. I mean, on track though, Jamie, Miami. Let's be fair. If we were going to take 5 weeks away from Formula One, always for us the summer break should have been Spa, wasn't it? We used to come back to. Obviously, that's now been changed for a few years. With a 5-week break, Miami isn't really the place we'd ever, I think, hoped to come back for. It's probably the only good way to hype up Miami Grand Prix a little bit more.
This is all you're getting.
It's this break before, exactly. Yeah, take it or leave it.
It's another 3 weeks off if you don't do anything. So
exactly.
Yeah, I don't love the track.
No, neither do I. But this is what I was going to lead on to. There is the potential this weekend with these new cars, and especially now with a few of the rule changes that are brought in, that Miami might, I'm going to say might, be better than it's been in previous years.
Well, a good thing for Miami, it can't get much worse. So
no, it's a pretty low bar.
So, and there's a lot of heavy braking zones.
It's always reassuring when this track's got a contract for another 15 years.
Is it 15? Did they extend it?
It's like 2042 or something, isn't it?
Oh my word! They signed 10 years when it first came in, before having run a race. So,
I'm pretty certain they then added another 10 years.
That's a shame. I was hoping that we were already getting on for halfway through, but never mind.
To the end of 2021.
2041
even. Sorry.
41.
Yeah, a 10-year extension on its existing agreement.
Great. Okay. Well, by 2041,
I'm gonna have kids. I would have by then. I don't know what your life.
We're all gonna have grey hair. That's for sure. I mean,
I'm there anyway. Mate.
I'm not too far away already. So yeah. I don't expect I mean, according to Sebastian Vettel, to bring him back up again, Miami will be underwater by 2041. So who knows if we'll have a race by then.
F1's first underwater Grand Prix.
That was on
Actually, that was Spa 21, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, true. That was on his helmet in the first Miami race, I want to say. Well, the only one he entered, wasn't it? In 22.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Speaking of underwater, it could actually be a thunderstorm on Sunday, so that could be quite fun in Miami.
I feel like we see this every year, though.
What is the thing in Florida?
They're like, oh, it's gonna rain, and then it never does.
In Florida, as someone who has visited Florida, the rain just appears within 20 minutes. It's a bit like Malaysia because it's so tropical and hot.
They always say Florida is the Malaysia of the West, don't they?
Do they?
I don't know.
I've never heard that in my life, but they've said it now.
Made it up on the spot.
They have said it now. Matt212, everyone. Yes. So it's quite hard to predict, basically. So it's hot enough and humid enough that there could be rain at any point. But according to the weather, it's thunderstorming and wet on Sunday throughout. So that could make the race interesting.
Well, we haven't... Yeah, none of the first 3 Grand Prix have been wet,
It was in the sprint last year, if you recall.
Yeah, it was in the sprint last year, yeah.
Charles Leclerc crashed on the way to the grid.
He did, didn't he? Yeah, and Antonelli got absolutely beaten up at turn 1, didn't he? He was basically down to 8th
and then
on
beaten
lap
up
1.
more by the Red Bull pit garage, releasing Max into him.
Max crashed into him.
I forgot about that, because that cost Max some points, and he would have won the championship with that. That's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, again, it goes to show how good sprint races are. And yes, obviously, we've got another one this weekend. You just don't remember stuff from sprint races, do you, generally?
No, not
it
at all.
It feels like. They just blend into the background.
Even if they're somewhat interesting, we still just forget about them immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
But it could be a good race for these cars. The track obviously has a lot more heavy braking zones than somewhere like Suzuka does.
There's a lot more opportunities to recharge. This was something I was going to talk about, combined with some of the rule changes, obviously, that have been confirmed, which we haven't talked about yet. Where obviously you're now limited to 7 kilowatts of usage a lap, and you
down
can
from
now
8.5,
recharge. 8 was going to be for this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You're then also able to recharge at 350 kilowatt hours, not 250. So it should, in theory, mean qualifying will be slower, but more attacking. You'll just be slower on the straights. B, it should mean that obviously you can recharge the battery pack quicker and also use it up slower. So it hopefully is going to mean... It also should, in theory, actually, as well, this is something I wanted to talk about, should, in theory, also mean that Mercedes might have less of an advantage. Because that's where it's felt they were gaining a lot out, was, of course, they were just able to use their energy more efficiently than anybody else.
Yeah. So if you make the energy less important for lap time, in theory, that makes it more about...
But you basically take out some of the efficiency, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't need to be as efficient to get the maximum possible now. Because the maximum possible has been reduced somewhat. So, yes, I don't think it will fix everything.
It's hopefully a step in the right direction, but honestly, we just still don't know, do we?
And the talk on the race, who I kind of trust from a journalistic point of view with this kind of thing, is that in qualifying they still think they'll be super clipping for 4 seconds, 5 seconds a lap, which doesn't feel like that much relative to Suzuka when it was probably more 8 or 9 or 10 seconds a lap. The problem is those 4 or 5 seconds will still be in those challenging corners. So the likes of Fernando Alonso's comments about Bahrain turn 11 or the S's in Suzuka are still going to be valid, where, the Stows or the Copses of the world are going to be charging areas.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, though, with Miami, because you've probably got, at the end of Sector 1, on that huge, basically, over 180-degree left-hander, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That should be a good opportunity to charge, because you're not on throttle really anyway through there. And then also the end of Sector 2, you probably won't lose much time at all, obviously, just running the ICE.
Through the really twisty bit.
Through the twisty switchback section as well. This is what they were also saying about Miami, of course. There are quite a lot of opportunities to charge the pack where you wouldn't be on full throttle anyway.
Yeah.
Or you can hold half throttle and not really lose much time.
Yeah, and it won't look that bad on the cameras either, because...
No.
Compared to 130R, where you would be on full throttle, the difference looks crazy. But
did you see in the end, Super Formula was quicker through 130R than F1?
Seriously. That's funny.
Yeah, they were slower down the straight. F1 was still hitting higher peak speeds, but through 130R, F1 were doing like 280k. Super Formula was doing 290.
Yeah, and I think if you remember how we look back on like the early 2014 races where Mercedes were like 20 seconds clear at Bahrain in 10 laps when they were fighting each other, I think we'll look back at Melbourne and Suzuka and Shanghai 2026 in a similar way, where we'll be like, how on earth did we watch those? They're such bad races looking back with the kind of super clipping and the engine regs that were going on at the time.
Bad though, in terms, because there was I feel like Shanghai I remember less of, but the others were. The Ferrari battle behind was pretty good.
The races themselves,
Leclerc,
the races themselves were fine. It was just the spectacle of watching the cars just halve their speed down the straights.
Yeah,
I think we'll get that will be a short-lived thing in Formula 1, hopefully.
Hopefully. But it was always going to be a nasty byproduct of this anyway, wasn't it? Although it did bizarrely kind of accidentally fix dirty air in the sport.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, I guess
they fixed dirty air through a lack of power.
Yeah, if you're going slow enough, then dirty air's not really a thing, is it? You don't get dirty air in your road car. So...
you follow a lorry on the motorway, Jamie, you'll get slipstream and dirty air.
You will. But or if you follow a tractor around your streets.
Yeah. We tried to come out of our estate last week, and there was a combine harvester coming the other way, just at the middle of the road.
Wow. What did you do in, like, the roads around there can't fit two combine harvesters around each other, can they? So what did you do?
Well, I assume the combine harvesters communicate with each other.
What did you do in your one? You're a farmer, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, hang on a minute. No. Thank you very much, sir. I might sound like a farmer, but I'm not a farmer. Jamie, obviously we spoke about during the spring break 5 winners, 5 losers of F1 so far this season. If there is one driver that needs to come back and be on form this weekend, is that person George Russell?
I would say the team has to be Red Bull, but that was not what you asked.
No.
Driver, I think Russell is almost must win. That sounds a bit dramatic, but
it does sound incredibly dramatic. But I know what you mean.
If Antonelli wins this comfortably, and I'm not talking about luck. If Antonelli wins this by being better all weekend, that is big alarm bells for George Russell, I think, because he's already 9 points behind. Obviously, the sprint points are going to have some effect, but just taking GP into it, that gap is suddenly 16 points, assuming Russell's second place, which he wasn't in Suzuka. So, yeah, that could start growing quite quickly. Yeah, I think Russell will obviously be very motivated to win. There's a lot of talk about the Mercedes title battle, and is Antonelli actually going to win it? And 3 races in, I think it's very premature to start talking about a title. But yeah, and also Mercedes might not be the fastest anymore, so who knows?
No, there is. Yeah, I was going to talk about this in a minute as well. There is a real are we going to say Ferrari, maybe McLaren as well? Obviously, a lot of teams are bringing big upgrades, but
Red Bull.
For George Russell though, it is kind of a weird one, isn't it? That it does almost feel like it's a must-win race because he cannot allow Antonelli to really start building up that momentum. And obviously, George was visibly annoyed with how Suzuka went. In many ways, he's kind of been a bit lucky that he has had as much time as he has to hopefully kind of go, I got unlucky. There's going to be, hopefully, at least 17 more chances this year. I won't get unlucky on all 17 of those occasions. To kind of refocus, regroup, just get himself back in the right headspace before this weekend. And he's almost a bit lucky as well. If this weekend goes badly, he's then got another couple of weeks for Canada, which is historically a very good circuit for him when he doesn't stack it.
And for Antonelli, though. Antonelli was excellent there last year.
Antonelli did get a podium there. It was just a really good track for Merck last year, wasn't it?
Well, historically, it always has been, hasn't it? I kind of disagree with you, though, on the fact that it's good that Russell's had the time off. I think if I was in George Russell's position, which obviously I'm not, a professional racing driver, I feel like professional sports people, when stuff like Japan, Shanghai happens, they just want to get it out their head straight away and as quickly as possible do another race.
Don't want to stew on it, yeah.
Yeah, so like, you know, if a football team loses on a Saturday and they've got like the following Saturday off, so they've got to stew on that loss for 2 weeks, it's not great for the team. And I think you'd rather have a game immediately where you can just win and put it behind you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
especially if Anthony wins this one as well, Russell's then effectively got another 3 weeks of overthinking. And how am I going to beat this
what I was
guy?
going to say. Obviously, if he loses this weekend, it might look a lot worse for him in his headspace.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is the big thing, though, isn't it? Still, at the moment, I think we both still agree that probably over the course of an entire season, we feel like Antelli might begin to struggle a bit more. There might be a few tracks that, obviously, last year we chalked it up to him being a rookie, but there might be a few venues he struggles at. There might be a few venues that he doesn't do as well as George at anyway. But I think for George as well, it's important that you keep the team... Because I feel like Mercedes generally do a pretty good job of not picking favourites when it's just between their two drivers. But of course, then you really throw a spanner into the works if Ferrari are on pace this weekend. Because Ferrari and Red Bull apparently are the two teams to really watch for some major upgrades. McLaren are apparently going to have, and I quote, a whole new car by Canada as well. With the energy kind of tweaks as well, we could legitimately see, I think, especially Ferrari or McLaren, really now actually be a threat to Mercedes, and that would be fascinating. Because, of course, McLaren have also had a lot of time now to kind of pore over the data and look at kind of where Mercedes was still getting that edge.
Yeah, definitely. And especially with these engine tweaks as well. And obviously the rule about the combustion engines, where some teams have got like special allowances. I think the only teams that didn't were Mercedes and Red Bull. And obviously the Mercedes
Well, the
power
Aduo.
unit. Yeah, the Aduo. So
that's not been confirmed yet. That's after this weekend.
Oh, is it? Okay, well,
Yes,
correct me
yeah.
then. But that will come into effect soon then, and that will probably, give Ferrari a leg up as well. And we said after Japan that it seems like Ferrari might have built the best chassis in the F1 at the moment. So, yeah. And like Charles Leclerc got a podium last race. Hamilton's obviously had a podium in Shanghai. Piastri could have won in Suzuka. I don't think it's going to be as whitewash Mercedes as we necessarily think at the moment.
No, and I think it is, a couple of those little, for example, obviously the fact Mercedes can't run a better engine than all their extra teams does always kind of mean, in theory, McLaren should be there or thereabouts with them. Because obviously McLaren have got a very good team behind them now again. But, yeah, I certainly don't think as well it's going to be, Mercedes domination all year. I wonder if, say, for example, a circuit like Monaco historically hasn't suited Mercedes that well. Whether that's going to be a real opportunity for a Ferrari or a McLaren.
It's Charles Leclerc to lose, isn't it, really, at Monaco?
Arguably still, yeah, but at least he's got that win now underneath him. Yeah, I reckon, I think it could be an Oscar Piastri win this year out of Monaco
Possibly.
as well. He's looked very, very good so far. And he's, come second twice, I want to say, in a row?
He came
Did he
second
come
in
second
24.
last year? I know he came second in 24. Did he come second last year as well in Monaco?
Did it? I think, no, Leclerc was second, I think. I think Piastri was third.
2025. Yeah, it might have been... yeah, it was
'Cause
Leclerc, sorry, yeah.
Leclerc very nearly got pole from Norris, and then he would have obviously won, because it's Monaco. Yeah, Piastri was third. Yeah, he was.
Yes, yeah. Maybe that's my very, very early prediction for the Monaco Grand Prix. I reckon it could be Piastri's this year. But, I mean, yeah, obviously we always hope, don't we, that there are more teams fighting right at the very front. I think McLaren are kind of worried that they might have looked almost too good early on at Suzuka. Because, of course, yeah, as we said at the time, it was almost a perfect storm, wasn't it? Because there were so few places to overtake and so few places to use the energy. Once, obviously, everybody else worked out exactly where Mercedes were using the energy, you could then set up the car to defend. It was, unlike Australia or Shanghai, a much more defensive circuit. That's kind of where the advantage was. And it did only go wrong for Piastri because of that badly timed safety car. McLaren, that was probably the first time this year that a team looked like they really, over the course of more than 10 laps, looked like someone could beat Mercedes. I certainly don't think Mercedes is going to be invincible or anything like that this season. And, reliability will still come into it for all the teams. Ferrari at some point will lead a Grand Prix and then an engine will go pop. It's just what Ferrari do.
It'll be Lewis Hamilton, no doubt, as well, just to send Twitter into a spiral.
Silverstone, 5 laps to go.
Oh, my word, imagine. That would be a mob leaving
I'd be
Silverstone.
So upset. Have you heard apparently as well, Silverstone has said they're quite happy to host a second race this year.
That'd be cool.
Where? Where are they going to be able to do? I know, obviously, at Silverstone before you say it, but where in the calendar are they going to be able to host a second Grand Prix?
Well, when Qatar and Baku and I guess they can't really host it at Silverstone in November.
Baku. Yeah, you can't do it. That's why the Middle Eastern races are normally where they are.
Yeah. Can you imagine? You're just going down the Hanger Straight and it just starts snowing. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's mid-November. And you'd have to, you get about 2 hours of
track's
daylight
only
in
mud pit.
Silverstone in November as
Yeah,
well.
you'd have to start the Grand Prix at 10 a.m. It'd be dark by 2.
Yeah, get the headlights out. Like the Top Gear endurance race at Silverstone.
It would be wild, though. I think the only slot you can really look at is Baku. But
That's
I'm
in
trying to
September,
think.
isn't it, Baku?
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to think whether there's ever been an F1 race that's hosted Grand Prix twice in a year, but not back to back.
That's a good
I know
point.
obviously Germany used to quite a bit, and obviously Spain did as well with the European Grand Prix.
But that wasn't the same venue, was it?
No, I know.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened. Because the only ones you can think of are the 2020 season where it was back to back, but they were, back to back, all of them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely were.
Interesting. Interesting
Who
times.
knows?
Yeah,
Who
Baku
knows?
is the end of September. Qatar
Yes.
and Abu Dhabi are the last weekend in November and the first in December. So
Well, apparently as well, and you're like, I don't know if you saw this online, but Kim Illman, you know obviously who Kim Illman
No, I
is,
don't.
you? He's the F1 photographer. He does a lot of weird
Oh,
videos
okay.
of just like wags and things like that. He's got like a lot of I think he might have he's got 900,000 followers on Instagram, for example. But he was very, very subtle with it. I'm trying to find the post now that he did a couple of weeks ago. Because there's rumours that Jeddah even, I should say, might slot in between, obviously, if everything is kind of back to normal. There's a rumour that Jeddah might slot in between Qatar and Abu Dhabi will get pushed a week back. So we could see
a triple header.
four races back to back.
That'd be
right at
4
the
in
end
a
of the
row, wouldn't
season.
it? Oh my word.
Exactly, yeah. Vegas, Qatar, Jeddah, and then
I don't
Abu
see
Dhabi.
that happening, surely.
Well, you got to remember, obviously, Aramco are a huge sponsor in Formula One, and obviously, if
Yeah.
Formula One have got the opportunity to, have extra money, they're obviously going to take it. But here we go. Yeah, so it was Kilman's post. He was so subtle though with his definitely non-ad on it. So he said, obviously, it looks like the Grand Prix could be pushed back, and he goes, "But I headed to hotels.com to see if rooms were available." And then at the end, he was like, "The hotels I booked along with my favourite teams and fans were fully booked on hotels.com." I'll just put the ad in, mate. Like everybody knows.
Hashtag ad. That's a bit sketchy, isn't it? I thought it was in like Stefano Domenicali's like Concord agreement with the teams that they're not going to have more than 3 races in a row. So I would be surprised.
What, back to back?
Because when they first had the triple header in 2018, when it was France, Austria, Silverstone.
But they had 4, didn't they?
No, they've never done
Was it
4 in a
4
row.
and 5 weekends?
Yes, it
because
was.
Hamilton won 4 races, didn't he? In like
July.
1 month.
Yeah. That was 2016, I think, when it was 2 and 2.
Yes. Yeah.
But the first time they ever did 3 races in a row was 2018. And after that season, everyone basically said, we cannot do more than that. And we can't do that more than once or twice a year.
And
so
yeah. I guess
it
unless
sounded
you're really
like
stacking them together, like they're
I
close
would be-
by Grand Prix.
I would be astonished if they do more than that.
Yeah, but Jamie, you also going to say that money talks?
Yeah, it does, yeah. But even at the end of the season, at the end of a long season, to tell the teams they're doing 4 races in a row, one of which is in Vegas and the other 3 in the Middle East, like...
I guess with
don't
Vegas
know.
you do get the extra day of travel. Because obviously Saturday
True.
night.
But then you lose that, because isn't Jeddah technically on the Saturday night as well?
No, that was only for
Was that for Ramadan, was it?
yes, yeah.
Ah, fair. Who knows? I'm glad I'm not in charge of making the calendar, put it that way.
No, but
We could.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Jamie, what's the golden rule of F1? Don't
Money
say don't
talks.
crash into your teammate. Money talks.
Well, the other thing is, Madrid obviously won't happen, so there's a gap there.
You're still adamant that Madrid's not happening.
Madrid
are
isn't happening. We're 4 months away, and it's nowhere near happening.
you? Yeah, we are starting to get close to that. I mean, practice times are on the board.
Yeah, they had
Qualifying's
practice
at 3
times.
p.m.
Vietnam made it to the F1 game. Didn't happen.
That is always still so funny. Great track though on the game.
A good track,
Great
yeah.
track on the game.
I remember co-op on there. Right, let's stop rambling. What's next?
Do you want a quiz?
Yeah, let's do the quiz.
You got a nice easy quiz because it feels like we've been terrible with quizzes in the last few weeks. Every time it was Jamie's turn, rather than doing a quiz, he'd be eating his cereal.
Yeah.
and trying to get set up. So
That's
we
how
haven't been able to
the
do it in ages.
that's how the opening of this podcast usually goes. I'll just be scranning.
Exactly. So, you got a pretty simple quiz today, Jamie. You've just got to name me the 10 drivers that scored a point in last year's Miami Grand Prix.
Oh, gosh.
If you get one wrong, it's over.
Oscar Piastri.
Correct.
Lando Norris.
Correct.
George Russell.
Correct.
Max Emiliano Verstappen.
Correct.
Is it? I think it's Emilian, not Emiliano. Never mind. Incorrect.
Yeah, Maximilian. Yeah, I was going to say.
That was the top 4.
It was. In the correct order. I'm very impressed.
Who else? Ferrari were probably good. I feel like they got points most of the time. So I will say Charles Leclerc.
Correct.
I'll say Lewis Hamilton.
Correct.
Oh, Kimi Antonelli.
Correct.
This definitely isn't in the right order now. How many? Is that 8?
You got 7.
7. I've got the big 7 apart from Tsunoda in the Red Bull, which I'm not saying. Who was good last year? That was before Sauber were any good. I can probably just work this out. Alpine obviously weren't real. I'm going to say... Wait. No. Tsunoda was already in Red Bull, so Lawson was driving a V car, but I can't remember if he was any good or not. What about... I don't want to get this wrong. Esteban Ocon?
Incorrect.
Oh,
I'm afraid.
God.
He finished 12th. I thought you were going to
12.
say Liam Lawson then and forget that obviously he took out Jack Doohan at the start.
Oh, he did, yeah. Well, I didn't say
The
Lawson.
main reason I wanted to give you this quiz is it was actually quite funny because
Stroll?
only 5 teams scored.
Oh.
And it was the big
Tsunoda
5 teams
got
come the end of
points.
the year. Sonoda got a point. He beat out Isaac Hadjar by a 10.5.
Who was the 5th
And-
big team at the end of the year?
Williams, wasn't it? Obviously,
Oh,
Albon got one of
yeah.
Williams' best results of the year. He got P5 and Sainz came 9th. They were genuinely on pace with Ferrari
Wait,
that weekend.
One
if
of their
not
best
quicker.
results of the year. Sainz got 2 third places.
Yeah, and Albon got a 4th.
Yeah.
And
So
then
it's
Albon
their
got a
4th
5th.
best results of the year.
Yeah, one of their... At 48 results, it was one of their best.
You can't be celebrating 5th place when your teammate gets 2 podiums. Come on, Albon, you're better than that.
He
Right.
hadn't got the podiums at that point. Albon didn't know how rigged it would go in Sainz's favour by the end of the year. That final third saved Sainz's reputation.
Well, he had a good season overall.
Yeah, only the final third,
But
though.
the final third is still part of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but this is always what we talked about at the time. Where Sainz has been absolutely carried by the fact he's had 2 podiums late on, rather than the fact Albon did a better job throughout most of the campaign.
It's true. But there we go.
Yeah, no, I just thought that was interesting when
7
I
out of
looked
10.
earlier on.
Not too bad.
Yeah, 7 out of 10's not bad going. Because I was like, oh yeah, it was only 5 teams that scored, which is very rare in Formula 1 nowadays.
I guess it's quite rare, isn't it? Back in the day, it was every week.
But you
got
can't have any
14
less than
scoring.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels
You
like
could-
14 scoring
you-
was more common back then.
You technically can have less than that, Matt, if there's only 8 finishes.
Oh yeah, if 14 people get DNF'd before they reach 90% of the Grand Prix.
Get your facts right, come on. All right,
Sorry.
predictions. What are the... I've
Oh,
forgotten
yeah.
what the score... You're beating me,
Oh,
I think.
I am thrashing you if I remember correctly this season.
13-8. That is not great.
Oh! Beautiful.
That is not great. So I get to go first, which is nice.
You do.
I've just
And
been
there's
talking...
an extra 2 points because this is sprint weekend.
It is. I've just been saying, obviously, about how it could be an open playing field and Mercedes might not win. That said,
Because of that, you're going to say it's George Russell.
I will say sprint winner. Sprint winner will be George Russell.
Okay.
Pole position. I'm actually going to say Antonelli on pole because he got it on sprint last year.
He did get sprint pole last year.
I'll
Don't
therefore
ask
say
him how it went, though.
Antonelli will win the race.
Oh, okay.
We're really leaning into the script. This is the time where
Yeah.
Russell gets the dominant win and you get more points on me.
Yep.
I'll say Charles Leclerc finishes second.
Oh, good heaven. You really
George
don't
Russell,
like George
third
Russell,
place.
do you? Fascinating.
Russell's back
Okay.
to his do-nothing P3 this race.
Fair enough. Even though he's going to be... normally he's quite happy with that. He's going to be
Yeah.
really upset by that this year, I feel. Okay, interesting. Can you just put those in so I don't say the same thing?
There you go.
Thank you. So I'm going to say Antonelli then sprint win. Russell Pole, Russell win.
We're really pushing the boat out, aren't we, with our predictions
really
this week?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna say.
Go on, throw Hamilton in.
No. I'm not gonna be. I got an advantage at the moment. I'm not gonna be too stupid. I want to keep building this out. I'm gonna say Antonelli second. I'm gonna say Piastri third.
Nice. I wanted to put Piastri in there, but I wasn't brave enough. So
There you go.
there you go. Very nice. We'll check in with those next week.
Yes. Yeah. When are you back actually from your travels?
Tuesday. So we can probably record on Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning, whichever's easiest.
Okay, we'll work that out closer to the time. It's Bank Holiday Monday, Jamie.
It is.
I thought because I forgot you were going away, I was like, oh, we could do a longer episode Monday morning. Jamie,
It's
going to
be
anywhere.
Do you think we'll have enough to talk about in Miami for a longer episode?
Oh, I'm sure we can ramble.
We can always ramble. There's no doubt about that.
Have we got anything else to add, though, sir? I think we've gone through everything we wanted to. Oh, FP1's 90 minutes, and it might actually be an interesting watch this year because of all the changes.
I'm not going to watch it. No chance.
Well, it's fairly late in the evening, isn't it? I want to say.
Yeah, I'll be in a pub in Prague. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'll be playing football anyway. It's on at 5
Oh,
PM.
really?
Yeah.
Have you got some techers? Do you spice at top bins?
Yeah. I scored. Not last week, the week before.
You're probably better than me. I'm actually terrible at football. So
Yeah, probably. I'm not
should
that good, but
we should start a football podcast, and then that'll really show everyone your
yeah. But
football
the problem
knowledge.
is, I know nothing about football. That's what half of my live streams turn into, is just people telling me about football.
Yeah, not the best. Who's going to win the league, Matt? City or Arsenal?
City. I feel like Arsenal are going to bottle it.
Nice. That's the right thing to say. Well
Arsenal are basically Ferrari, aren't they?
Yeah. They've been leading all season.
I know they have, which is kind of.
So I guess so.
Ferrari did for that, like for the first half of 2018, didn't they?
Yeah, true.
Or 2017. Yeah.
There you go. You heard it here first, everyone. Arsenal will bottle it.
Yeah.
You definitely didn't hear it first. People have been saying that since about November. So
exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. Thank you all, though, as always, so much for listening, or watching, or just viewing, or anything like that. That we said, yeah, we'll be back next week at some point. Then, of course, again, we'll have another couple of break weeks, won't we? So we'll be able to talk about this, that, and the other as well. Have we got anything else to add, Jamie? You all happy?
I think so.
Wonderful. Drop a follow, leave a like, drop a sub, or depending on where you're at. Make sure you follow us on all the various social medias. There'll be links in the description. And yeah, let us know your predictions for the Miami Grand Prix. I'll make sure I put the social post up as well. And yeah, we'll be back very soon. Out at next week, I guess, after Miami.